Over the past several years, there have been probably hundreds of instances of Trump supporters being attacked by unhinged individuals. There's one story I remember where a couple was trying to steal a Trump flag and they brought their kids with them to steal the person's Trump flag. Now that's insane. But this story right here is a whole new level of absolute psychotic behavior. Woman assaults 12-year-old boy in Boulder over Trump yard sign, police say. Now, you may have seen the story about the two women who attacked, I believe the boy was 7 years old. Now, that story was a little different, at least my understanding of it, because they were attacking a group of people and they stole a hat or a sign and the little boy chased after him. This is like a little boy was riding a bike and some older woman attacks him. So when they tell us that unless Joe Biden landslides, there will be more violence, this is what they're talking about. And of course, I'm referencing my main channel segment over at youtube.com/Timcast. Maybe you've seen it. If not, you can check it out. They said that in all of their war game scenarios, these are never Trumpers and Democrats, that the only one that results in peace will be if you give them the power. Then they'll finally leave you alone, because unhinged individuals like this will go around attacking 12-year-olds unless Joe Biden wins a landslide. Here's the story from the Denver Post. Police are looking for the woman in her 20s or 30s who was riding a moped. Boulder police are investigating a report that a 12-year-old boy was assaulted over a Donald Trump yard sign. According to Boulder police, the assault occurred around 3 p.m. Monday at Folsom Street and Glenwood Drive. Police said the boy was riding his bicycle with the Trump sign when a woman on a moped saw the sign, turned around to confront the boy. Boulder police spokesman Shannon Allabaugh said the suspect drove up to the boy and said something to the effect of, "You want something to look at?" and used a closed fist to strike the boy in the back of the head and arms 4 to 5 times and scratched him. The boy told police the woman then tried to take the sign before leaving the scene. The suspect was described as a white female in her 20s or 30s wearing a tan jacket, blue shirt, and blue jeans. The moped she was riding was gray or blue in color. The case remains under investigation and no arrests or citations have been made this time. Now, let me tell you something first and foremost. I don't believe stories like this. I got to be honest. Come on. You mean to tell me some lady in her 20s or 30s punched a 12-year-old boy several times? I don't know, man. I saw that Jussie Smollett thing, and I'm not so sure I'm ready to buy this. So let me just say right now, let me get an arrest. Let me see some evidence. Otherwise, we take it with a grain of salt. But I will tell you, I got a bias. You know why? Because we've seen many left-wing hoaxes. Many of these stories, like Jussie Smollett, it's the left claiming we're being attacked, and then it turns out it was fake news. But I've seen videos of Trump supporters getting drinks splashed in their face and getting physically attacked in the street, and I've been on the ground watching the far left beat elderly Trump supporters who provoked no one, who said nothing. I've seen people get egged in the face. I've seen a guy get bashed over the back of the head with a heavy bag. People believe it was carrying rocks. So when you tell me a woman rode up on her moped and punched a 12-year-old boy several times, I'm sorry. I'm more inclined to believe it. The violence we see in this country on video tends to flow in one direction. How many months of far left violence have we seen? You know, the Proud Boys and the right-wing groups that go out and confront them, they only do it in response to the left. Then the media comes out and frames it as though it's the right wing causing all the violence. No, the right wing is being provoked in a sense, coming out and refusing to back down. The left are the ones showing up to right wing rallies. So tell me, when was the last time the Proud Boys raided, like, I don't know, a Bernie rally? A bunch of people going like, yo, Bernie, and then the Proud Boys showed up and started hitting people. There are several instances where Antifa has done just that. And that's what's going to happen right now. Bill Barr says that Antifa members are flying around the country instigating riots and calls them the ramrod for violence. And he's right. If Joe Biden wins, you know, maybe it's true. Antifa will stop rioting. I guess if I'm going to concede the point to Joe Biden, I guess that means that Antifa support him. And when he wins, they're happy and they will stop the violence. Wow. Maybe Joe Biden should tell them to knock it off now and maybe they'll listen because they seem to support him, right? At least that's the narrative. They say Bill Barr on Wednesday said the Justice Department was monitoring the far left movement Antifa, saying that it is the heart of violence in cities around the country. I've talked to every police chief in every city where there has been major violence, and they have all identified Antifa as the ramrod for the violence, Barr said in an interview with CNN's Wolf Blitzer. They're flying around the country. We know people who are flying around the country. We see some of these purchases that they are making before the riots of weapons to use in these riots, Barr added. So we are following them. And Bill Barr is correct. They talk about Donald Trump's creepy conspiracy when Trump said somebody got on a plane and they saw these thugs and they're like, oh, Trump's so crazy, but it's normal. The far left does fly around the country. That's not unheard of. I've seen them. Many of these people are trust fund kids, or they're bored, or they just save up money to go join the riots, or they drive around. Of course they do it. How is that considered absurd by anybody? They say. In a Fox News interview late Monday, Trump made cryptic claims about armed thugs, he said, had boarded an airplane seeking trouble. Asked for details, Trump said, I'll tell you sometime, but it's under investigation right now. On Tuesday, Trump told reporters that it was something told to him by an individual on the flight. Trump would not identify the person. Well, of course not. I have a ton of people come to me and talk about problems, and they don't want anyone to know their names because Antifa will go and threaten them too. We just saw a lady go and punch a kid several times. What do you think they'll do to you? Okay, we didn't see the lady do it. I will reserve judgment on that one. I want to see evidence of that happening, but hey, I kind of believe it. Asked to comment. White House spokeswoman Sarah Matthews did not address Trump's specific assertions, but said he was referring to an investigation into possible financial backers of organized riots. The president, seeking re-election on a promise to restore law and order, told Fox News the plane was completely littered with thugs wearing these dark uniforms, black uniforms with gear and this and that. Yes, most journalists will tell you, oh yeah, I've seen Antifa with helmets and stuff. They wear, black shirts and hoodies and jeans because that's what they wear when they go out and riot. Yeah, and it's not expensive to fly on a regional flight. You can get regional flights for like $70, man. He added, here were like 7 people on the plane, like this person, and then a lot of people were on the plane to do big damage. Barr on Wednesday also said he thought there was no systemic racism in the U.S. justice system, and that there is a false narrative the country is in an epidemic of unarmed black people being killed by white officers. I think our institutions have been reformed in the past 60 years, and if anything has been built into it, it's a bias toward non-discrimination. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky has also said he believes people are traveling around the country to instigate violence. It's not about belief. It's a fact. I can confirm. I am a witness. I'd like to testify. I have been on numerous planes. I used to fly around twice a week. They do this. We call them the tourists. They even said in one article, it's like they're tourists. Yes, that's what we've called them for a decade. Like, man, I can't believe I've been doing this job for 9 years. But yes, they travel around. It's not expensive to hop in a car and spend like $100 in gas. You get 5 people. They all pitch in. It's an uncomfortable ride. They show up in your city and then they riot. Paul on Friday called on the FBI to investigate a crowd of protesters that swarmed him as he departed the White House after listening to Trump accept his party's nomination for re-election. Paul told Fox News Channel he believes the group chanting his name and pushing against his impromptu police escort was paid to incite a riot. He did not say who he believes financially backed them or offer any evidence for this contention. I believe there are going to be people who were involved with the attack on us and actually were paid to come here and are not from Washington, D.C., and are sort of paid to be anarchists. The FBI needs to investigate, but the only way you can do it is if you have to arrest people. Trump signed a memo on Wednesday saying that threatens to cut federal funding to lawless cities. My administration will not allow federal tax dollars to fund cities that allow themselves to deteriorate into lawless zones. It was released by the White House, and then Andrew Cuomo said it was illegal, and he said, I hope if Trump ever comes to my city, brings an army, because otherwise, wink, wink, he won't be safe. That's basically what Cuomo said. Trump fired back, whatever. Listen, man, we're not making up the violence, okay? It's not about Trump supporters. It's about anyone who dare defy the far left and leftist orthodoxy. This woman who assaulted the 12-year-old boy, the guy who splashed the kids in the face with a drink, I don't think these people are far left radicals in the sense that they're like, waving communist flags. But they are far radical in the sense that the left is becoming radicalized. Okay, so when a woman assaults a 12-year-old boy and I see it in the Denver Post, why would I say that's fake? Haven't you seen the video of the kids who are eating and there's like an El Pollo Loco or something? And the guy walks up and grabs the drink and splashes it in their face? People were protesting Chick-fil-A. They're unhinged. 14,000 arrests in the George Floyd riots. We have a serious far left radicalization problem in this country. It is not radical to be a moderate saying like, yeah, we got to secure our borders. That's normal. It is radical to punch a 12-year-old boy several times in the back of the head and arms because you wanted to steal his Trump sign or something. How will we deal with this? I don't know, because the media has been overrun by far-left radicalization as well, because there has not been a point at which regular people have stood up and said no to this. Now, when Donald Trump won, he didn't win the popular vote. So to many people, they don't see it as a rebuke of their extremism. We'll see how this plays out in November. I'm not confident, however. I felt this way in 2016. I have long since felt that the elections are rigged and they cheat. That's why I didn't care in 2016. Whatever. I thought Trump would have won any normal election, but I thought Hillary was going to cheat anyway. Yeah, I think they're going to cheat. Whatever. We'll see how it plays out. I got a couple more segments coming up in just a few minutes. Stick around and I will see you all shortly.